I'm coming up on a deadline that I set for myself that I did not accomplish. Um, I set myself up with a very high goal and a seemingly impossible goal, and I haven't even gotten 1/10 of the way there, which is disappointing. And I can also see where my error was. I can see, looking back, the beginning of the goal, I had a lot of doubt myself, and I raised the number, and I kept raising the number of what I was going for is actually a financial piece. But I set myself up with the impossible goal, believing that if you can head towards an impossible goal, you're way ahead of yourself setting a very easy to reach goal. Easy to reach goals are just that. They're your way out. They're your way of simplifying things. Um, Easy to accomplish goals are so you have a backup plan, and you know it's going to happen if you do absolutely nothing, that your goal is going to be met with a really easy plan that's, just status quo, keeping things as they are. The goal is there, boom, it's kind of done already. But if you set yourself up with a challenging goal or an impossible goal, your mind will try and wrap itself around accomplishing the impossible. And this is how stuff gets done. People set themselves up with goals that are either impossible or extremely challenging to meet, so that their mind goes like, oh my God, that could, and if you get halfway to your impossible goal, you're ahead of where you would have been if you didn't set any goal, or if you set a goal that was an easy goal to accomplish. Kind of catch my drift on this. So when I set myself up with the impossible goal and I kept making it larger and unrealistic, another few things that happened was that I told a few people my goal, and when you tell people your goal, it becomes a point to argue. Unfortunately, this is the nature of things. When you set yourself up with an easy to accomplish goal, it's acceptable, and people will generally accept an easy goal, even if you set it for yourself. But if you set yourself up with an impossible goal and they can see it, that it looks impossible, they're going to throw everything at you that would help you believe that your stance is way out there and impossible to achieve. And you'll believe them. And that's the problem. Where I went with that was listening to other people's points, and I can think of a few specific people from when I set myself up with the impossible goal who influenced me the other direction just by giving me simple logistical things to think about. And I had already thought about those things to some extent, but I didn't want to believe them. I wanted to believe that I could accomplish the impossible, that I could go for a goal and not accomplish it maybe, but get close to it. And I'm just nowhere near it, and I can see where I followed someone else's ideas. Doubt, really, not someone else's ideas. And I mean, a few people did say to me that you need to set a more realistic goal for yourself that you can accomplish, and what you're doing is impossible and crazy. And that's just it. If it's impossible and crazy, then maybe that's a good thing, but you have to be the one to commit to it. If you're giving it to other people to look at, you've lost it right there, because when other people look at your impossible goal, they're going to see right through to what limits them, their limitations. And they're going to set their standards on you right away, and what is normal and what is reasonable and so forth. They're going to tell you all kinds of things about why you can't accomplish something impossible or something extremely challenging. And unfortunately, you're going to buy what they say. You're going to buy into it. I bought into it. I think I'm pretty disciplined and hardcore, but I started to listen to my connections. I started to listen to those people that I was bouncing the idea on. And unfortunately, bouncing the idea on them meant criticism. It meant harsh criticism, and it meant a reality check. And all of that did nothing for me. It broke my confidence. It broke my vibe that I had of going for the challenge. So when you set yourself up with a goal, set yourself up with an impossible goal or an extremely challenging goal to accomplish, but don't tell anybody what your goal is. Tell them that this is maybe something that you're thinking about, and give them the standard reasoning. If you're going to share it with anybody, share with them the easy goal, the easy part, or share with them an idea that is along the same lines, but is not the same idea that you have. Because you will no doubt, unless you have someone who's extremely supportive and who believes in the impossible as well, and believes in accomplishing extremely challenging goals, unless you have that person on the same page with you, the reasoning and the justification that you have an idea that's to them impossible to get to, they're going to give you everything they can to back you away from that and to keep you from hurting yourself, or keep you from hurting them in the process, or I don't know what quite it is, but people have a way of sort of reeling you back in and putting you on the ground that they're standing on instead of allowing you to have the ground that you're standing on. So while it's good to have the support, it's good to have the non-supporting faction not be something that you're engaging with. In other words, if you're going to get negative feedback, why look for it? Why listen to it? And don't buy it or believe it. So when you think about your own goals and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, and how to get to your end result, how to get to the next step, how to move through your challenge or challenges, whatever is going on for you. Keep those things in mind. Keep them to yourself. It's hard for me to not want to share because of who I am. But when I tell people my extremely challenging goal, it almost becomes a story. They have something to hold on to that they can use to meter you later on to see how well you accomplished or how realistic you are. And it becomes a point of contention because they'll hold that candle to you in other ways. about how you set impossible things up and try to accomplish them, but then ultimately fail. People are happy to share with you how you fail and how you can fail and how you do fail. They'll also tell you things that are similar where you achieve success and where you succeed. So you have a few different schools of thought going on, but for the most part, keep your goals and keep your ideas to yourself going forward so that you know your own metering and you know at least you have an idea of how you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. There was a roadside crew, you probably heard the chainsaw whine. I did the hat thing. I always do that to workers to, I don't know, it's an acknowledgement. Oh, I thank you for watching, and I thank you for paying attention to your own goals and your own ideas with what you want to accomplish and how you want to show up in your life, and also for setting goals for yourself. Having boundaries and having goals can really help you get from one place to another if you're feeling stuck, or if you're feeling like you're not sure what your path is, or you're not sure what you're doing. When you do have an idea, even if it's something that you aren't entirely sure that you want to accomplish, if you set yourself up with a goal that is hard to get to, I would say it's a guarantee of getting to the low end of it, at least, if not much greater. And I think back to when I broke my ankle 3 years ago, and believed that I would be trail running within 3 months' time, while the medical practice was telling me that I'll be in a cast for 6 months. I believed something else entirely, and believing that and not sharing that with anyone helped me to get to my goal. The first bump of that was being able to put full weight on it, and I put full weight on it at 43 days. My goal was 40 days. My next goal was to trail run, and I was trail running with a 50-pound pack, or a 30-pound pack at least, at 78 days, where my goal was 80 days. So I pride myself in that accomplishment, and I look back to that as a mile marker in understanding the conventional approach and then re-evaluating to an approach that I didn't even know could work. And there are a few key people in my life that influenced that, and who continue to influence that. So I think about how I am or how I am not achieving my goal, and what I've done along the way which kept me from getting to that goal. And one of the key factors in that, I would say, is not buying into what other people believe, not buying what they're saying, not sharing it with them necessarily, unless it's something that you feel is intrinsic to that connection and to that bond, and also you have the backing and support in that and in setting that goal with them. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Cheers.